Now, why is a Montreal Canadiens fan like myself going to a Toronto Maple Leafs game? Well, I'll tell you. We all know the Maple Leafs are ridiculously expensive, like doesn't even make sense expensive. So, I'm going to be trying to find the cheapest possible Toronto Maple Leafs fan experience. That means we are trying to find the best deals for our tickets, our parking, our food, and anything else that we might come across. Oh my goodness. What even is this? $230 for a 300 level. We're on Ticketmaster, by the way. All right, cheapest one here, verified resale for $180. For context, I was at the Sabres game 2 nights ago, $130 for the lower level bowl. Now, Sunday's matchup is against the Detroit Red Wings, so it's an original 6 matchup, which is why I understand that ticket prices may be a little bit more expensive. However, I did see a TikTok the other day that 2 playoff tickets from the same viewing as my seat are going for $1,000.
All right, the pre-sale for Leaf playoff tickets went live today, and just take a look at this garbage. These 2 seats in the upper deck are $942 each. Now, keep in mind, these are resale, but who in the hell on their mind is going to spend this to see them in the first round? And can you imagine what the price is going to be when they make it to the finals? Because I'm going to have to ask for an advance on my pay, probably take a loan out, and sell one of my kidneys.
So on the Maple Leaf side of things, obviously I'm super excited to get to see Austin Matthews play. I was also going to be excited to see Mitch Marner. However, he is being rested. But on the Detroit side of things, I'm really excited to get to see Marco Kasper's debut, the Austrian, coming all the way over to get his NHL career started. So I did mess a few things up when it comes to my parking. The cheapest one that I found was like $10 and it was super far away. However, because I was grabbing lunch with Cassie and her brother beforehand, time kind of slipped away from me and I just had to grab the closest parking next to me, which was $30, which is actually pretty standard right around Scotiabank Arena. So if you don't really want to walk and you just want to get there as close as possible, $30. If you're willing to kind of walk a little bit, $10 is the cheapest that I've seen. So that $10 to $30 range is what you're looking for. All right, it took me a lot longer to find the parking than what probably should have been needed. So yeah, $30 parking. It is 7:10, so right now I'm 10 minutes late for the game. This is the first game we've ever been late to, so hey, congrats, Toronto. Now, in terms of stadium food, I'm going to be honest with you. In any pro rink, just eat beforehand. You know, maybe grab a drink at the game, but save your money. The food never lives up to the hype. However, we did get started by trying the iconic St. Patty's in the Scotiabank Arena. They're kind of all over the place down here. We are going for the cheapest menu item, which happens to just be plain old fries. These stadium fries were okay. Honestly, though, the Newfoundland barns in the local communities have stadium fries that outweigh these exponentially and don't cost half as much. It is currently 1-1 for the Leafs. We got some fries and a drink for $15 at St. Patty's concession. Let's see how good our fries are. 7.5 out of 10. One of the other cheaper options that I found for the stadium food was actually the rice dogs. I went with the ramen one here. So we've got the rice dogs, the ramen one with the sweet chili on it. I tried these like a year ago and was iffy on them, so I wanted to give them another shot. Again, they're a pretty great deal, but overall for about $13, I could probably have gone without this. If I'm being honest, the comeback snacks, popcorn, the caramel, and the chocolate one are actually incredible. I tried the one with chocolate at the Raptors game and then the caramel one at the Leafs game. Honestly, go with the caramel one instead. Not as sweet, but yeah, really not too bad. All right, so I got some popcorn and an ice cream along with a bottle of water in my pocket. I got this popcorn at the Raptors game the other night. It's unreal. But ice cream, popcorn, bottle of water, $32. Now, not only as a Montreal Canadiens fan, you know we have to cheer for the Red Wings this evening because the first ever Newfoundlander to win a Stanley Cup was a part of the Detroit Red Wings, Daniel Cleary. It is actually interesting though. I'll tell you a little secret. I did grow up as a Toronto Maple Leafs fan just when I wasn't really into hockey. I just told people, yeah, I'm a Leafs fan. Newfoundland at the time, we had the St. John's Maple Leafs and just kind of stuck with it for a while. Then when I got into hockey, I just kind of followed my grandfather and decided to cheer for the Canadiens. And listen, as somebody who has worked in sport, I feel like I've done a pretty good job of just removing my bias here. So Leaf fans, don't come at me, okay? This is as non-biased as it possibly could be, all right? Actually, you know, hey, Newfoundland Growlers, ECHL affiliate to the Toronto Maple Leafs. You know, we got a lot of connections there. I know a few of the guys, some are up with the Marlies right now too. So I'm always secretly rooting for you as well. So the Red Wings ended up beating the Leafs, but I don't know who was the bigger loser here because I ended up spending a total of $274.82 on everything you've seen in this video. Now, obviously we could have knocked $20 off from the parking or have just kind of stuck to one concession item, but you know, wanted to show you a few different options for this video. I'm going to these games by myself. I can't imagine how like a family of 4 would just be like, yeah, let's go to a Leafs game for a little family outing. Like in my small town of Claremont, Newfoundland, we have the Caribous, and if like my mom and dad wanted to bring us to a game for an evening, I think tickets are like, say at the most $10. So like that would be $40 for the 4 of us just for tickets, and then, you know, say you spend another $20 on food. A family of 4 is almost looking at like a $600 minimum just to go to a game, which is absolutely wild. But hey, I understand they're a popular franchise, but just a couple of days ago, I drove an hour to Buffalo, which is like an hour from Toronto, went to a Sabres game, and my ticket in the lower bowl, like 5-6 rows back from the glass, was $130. I want to hear from the diehard Leaf fans. When you go to Scotiabank Arena and you leave at the end of the evening, do you feel like that was money well spent? Because I gotta be honest, I've been to like 10 professional sporting games over the last month. I don't really know if the Toronto Maple Leafs experience is worth the price. Like, again, I was in Anaheim last month. 3 tickets in the 300s were $130. That, like, my Leafs ticket was $180 just for one in the 300s. I know Anaheim's at the bottom of like the list, but you know, they recently won a Stanley Cup not too long ago. I mean, a lot more recent than, say, you know, the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I'm not trying to make a jab there. I hope you enjoy this video. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts, and if you wouldn't mind doing me a favor, hitting that like button, even commenting something down below, or watching a new video on this channel. It really helps just get these out to more people. Thank you so much. In the meantime, stay best kind.
So if you don't know, Connor Bedard is probably the greatest prospect ever in the sport of hockey. He has cemented himself with the names of Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby, and so many others. And he has finally done it. With the conclusion of the Regina Pats regular season, he has now probably finished his junior career. And this is due to the fact that he is more than likely to become the first overall pick in this year's NHL entry draft and start his professional career next season. But as a hockey fan, there's always one thing that I've wondered. What's it like to go to a game where the #1 prospect in the world right now is playing at the junior ranks? You know, it's pretty common to go see the NHL stars in the big NHL arenas, but what would it have been like to see, you know, Crosby or McDavid or even Austin Matthews play when they were coming up through the ranks? Well, when I was in Calgary, Alberta, I wanted to figure out the answer to that. So I did the 8-hour-long drive and ended up in Regina to watch a Connor Bedard Regina Pats game as they took on the Prince Albert Raiders.
So for $220, this is our seat for the night. Not a bad view.